What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green Podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm super excited to come to you today with another fresh new guest episode for you. And I love guest interviews. If you don't know, then you hadn't listened to the show before because they're some of my favorites, and I love when we get to bring really good guests on. We've had a good couple of interviews recently. We had one with Sam Gimbel recently. We had a group episode with Lucas, Kyle, and Brendan. That was really, really fun. So I love it. I think that the community grows when you get on and have really good conversations like that. And that is what we're going to do today. So we have none other than Tanner Carney on with us with Palmetto Lawn Services today. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, sir.
You tell me before we record. You got a bunch of rain and things coming through. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do a current event update on your weather. What does it look like out there?
Yeah, right now it's pretty cloudy and rainy and a solid 42 degrees. It's warmed up about, I guess, 5 degrees this morning. The low was 35 and the high today was, they call it for 35, but it's 42 now. So still pretty chilly out there, at least for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, man, that's man, it's crazy. I'm rarely the one on the side of the interview or the side of the conversation that says like I'm the one with the bad weather, but it is currently 20 degrees here. It
Oh,
got
my
up,
goodness.
yeah, it was 16 this morning when we woke up, and there's ice all over the roads, and there's not many people out doing anything today because the roads are all iced over, streets are shut down. So, all you guys we have like a tenth of an inch of ice, like, but it's enough ice to coat the roads. And we do. I mean, Alabama has some plow trucks, but not like what northern states have. Like the majority of the roads are not getting plowed today, or salted, and so
Dude, if we get
there.
too much frost, everyone's freaking out.
Yeah, literally. It's all the kids are out of school today, which is valid. Like there's been so many videos this morning, 18-wheelers jackknifing on the interstate and things,
Oh, my
just
goodness.
because we're just not equipped for it. So anytime we get ice like this, shuts it down. And so North Alabama, about 2 hours north of me, up where like Ben Naaman is in Huntsville, almost, they
Yeah.
got 4, 5, 6 inches, I think, last night. So
Wow.
it was wild. That doesn't happen much down here, so it's
Wow.
weird for me to be on the other side of like, man, we're actually have colder weather. So it's usually guys up in Michigan and Ohio saying, yeah, it's 15, 20, 30 degrees out, and I'm like, we're 55 and 60 in the middle of winter. So, but I
Oh,
did
yeah.
look at the 10-day, and next Wednesday I think it says it's supposed to be back in the 60s. So I'm not
Nice.
complaining about that at all.
Not at all.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good deal, man. Well, I kind of want to hop into your story. I want to hear some more of your journey. I followed along with you here on Instagram for a while, friends on Facebook and things. So I see a little bit of some of your posts and stuff. I know you're a younger guy, got a really good business that started up there in South Carolina, I believe. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about what you get going on with Palmetto.
Yeah, so I'm like you said, I'm Tanner Carney. I'm the owner of Palmetto Lawn Services. We're located here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. For those who may not be familiar, it's about 20-30 minutes south of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little bit bigger city there. Yeah, we're a full maintenance landscape design company here. It's me and 4 full-time guys right now, and then we also have 2 other part-time guys that they're seasonal, so they don't do much during the winter. They'll come back in March and they'll usually leave between Thanksgiving and Christmas. They'll help us for the holidays a little bit, and then after that they'll go do their own things for a couple months. But yeah, we service about, I think last year we peaked at about 120 weekly, both residential and commercial maintenance accounts. That's full maintenance, including fertilizer, stuff like that, and then. Typically, me and another guy will go out and do a lot of landscape enhancement work and then some design work as well. So yeah, that's pretty much the broad view of
That's
it.
the
So
rundown. That's the
that's the
rundown.
rundown. Yes,
Awesome,
sir.
awesome, dude. Well, so you got guys out mowing. You're doing the landscape. I kind of sense that model. I relate with that a little bit, and so would love to dive into that some more and talk about that. But how did you get started, man? How old are you? How did you get started in the business?
Yeah, so I'm 18 years old. Well, I'll be 19 in March, so pretty much 19.
Yeah,
Um, I started literally by pulling weeds when I was about 5 years old or so, and saved up money from pulling weeds to buy a push mower. And from there, I bought. I don't know if you've seen them, but it's a Cup Cadet brand. It's a walk behind. It's like a 33-inch little walk
yeah,
behind.
yeah,
It's like the smallest one Cup Cadet makes.
yeah.
Not sure if it's residential, not sure if it's commercial, but hey, it worked. Yeah, when I was, I guess, about 9 years old or so, I saved up and bought that, and then had a little Ryobi weed eater, and I don't even think I had a blower at that point. I think I was still using a push broom, or
Yeah.
honestly, we're lucky they got a push broom. Um, and so literally from there, just saved every penny I had to my name by pulling weeds, and then I got into mowing. I think at age 2012, we picked up my local church that we went to. They were gracious enough to let me take on their grounds, which it's not a small property. It's 5 acres, and so with a little 33-inch walk behind mower, it took all day to say the least. So.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
with me still being in school or had been in school, we would do that on Saturdays. Me and my brother. He's now in the Air Force. He's not with us. Well, he's with us, but he's out of town.
He's not with the company.
Didn't mean
Yeah.
to say it like that. Yeah,
He's
he's
still
out.
breathing.
He's still breathing. He's doing his own thing now with the Air
Yeah.
Force. So, yeah, he helped me a good bit when I was little. But yeah, literally by pulling weeds and saving up cash, I was able to reinvest as much as I could, as fast as I could, and was able to. Well, now we have a couple mowers. We just bought our fourth truck, which was that Chevy. It's a Zuzu branded, but it's a Chevy. We're super excited to use that here in the next couple months once we get back into our second full-time mow crew. Um, so yeah, it's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, man, 100%. So did you graduate this past year, I'm assuming?
So I was able to graduate early. My school here I went to, it was a smaller charter school, so they did dual enrollment.
Oh
We
yeah.
were able to get some college credits in order to get double credit to graduate
Hmm.
early. So I graduated last year. I guess that would have been 2022. No, yeah,
Okay, so
2022.
you did not this past like what we just finished up. You
No,
graduated the year
yeah,
before. Okay.
yeah, I graduated the year four. So I had just turned 17 when I graduated, which really gave me a springboard to be
Yeah.
able to go full time into my company. And I know how unfortunate COVID was for a lot of people. I don't know if I can say that word, but I know how unfortunate that was for a lot of people. But
Yeah.
I got lucky because I mean, all the school got canceled, so everything was
Hmm.
online. So I'd grab a computer, jump in my truck, go to work, and if I had a 10 a.m. Zoom, I'd come back in the truck while I'm at a property. My guys are cutting, I do the Zoom and hop off and go back to work. So it really gave me some time and honestly allowed me to leverage because it gave me more time to really start growing. So yeah, I graduated last year.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, I was homeschooled, and so I was able to get done a little early, and have time to work in the business as well. So I totally understand that and the benefit from it. I think that that's really cool that you got to do that. It's what was that experience like going to a charter school?
um it had its pros and its cons. It was nice because it was a smaller school, so pretty much everybody knew everybody. And it was kind of out in the country, so it was
Yeah.
a lot of people. Like I had a good bit of friends there.
Yeah.
I was able to connect with them a little bit better than some of the other schools here. Um, but I was a big. I like to play sports, even though I didn't really have much time because I was trying to work on the weekends. But in my later middle school years and then my early like I think my junior or freshman and sophomore year of high school, I ran cross country, so I did that. That was only because we didn't have a football team, so I wanted to try to do
Yeah.
something. But as my company grew, and actually that's when COVID hit, was right after my sophomore year. Um, you didn't have school, so they didn't have sports, so I kind of
Yeah.
lost that. But yeah, I like going to a charter school. It's nice with it being fairly smaller, and they had really good teachers too. So
Yeah, yeah, man, that's awesome. That's really cool to hear. So you started the business and you worked through high school. When did you start taking it legit? I mean, for you to just now be you're 17 about to turn 18 or 18 about to turn 19?
I'm 18 about to
Yeah,
turn
18 about
19.
to turn 19.
Yeah.
So at 18 about to turn 19, you got four guys full time. You're about to start a second Mo crew. Like you're doing things that a lot of guys want to be doing 5, 6, 7, 8 years in. That could be 30, 35, 40 years old. You're doing things that are really big when it comes to just growing a lawn maintenance business, a lawn maintenance company. And so, what has that process looked like from the beginning? Where I mean, take us back to being in school and working nights and weekends, I guess you could say, during that. But then, like, when did you start? Did you delegate early? I feel like I've seen a lot of that because I feel like I've seen when young guys like you grow larger companies, it's when they started in school and they physically could not be out there to do the work during the day, so they would hire people to go do that for them. I know Christian with CNI did that, and now he's grown a pretty large company and he's still in college. And so, what was that whole process like for you?
So it's funny. I'll answer that in a second, but it's kind of ironic that you said you were homeschooled as well. So I was homeschooled up until my eighth grade year of middle school.
Okay,
So, well, I guess up until my seventh grade. Eighth grade was my first year at that charter school.
yeah,
So I went into that charter school not knowing anybody, as I was homeschooled before. So a couple weeks go on as I'm at that school, and there's this buddy that me and him start to become pretty good friends. And so come to current day, he's actually my crew lead on my main Mo account. So I think one thing that really helped me out was just hiring a crew lead, someone I can really rely and depend on early in my business, and then him being able to see how we grow and allow, like, he's able to grow with us. And so yeah, obviously back when I was 14 years old in eighth grade, I didn't have much figured out. I maybe cut 30, 40 yards, and then had a couple at church and a couple other smaller commercial accounts. So I would
Yeah.
do a lot of those yards after school, after cross country practice, and then on the weekends. And so I hired him once we started to become friends, and he really was able to help me, and he took a step into being able to help me grow because he's a year older than me. He was able to drive. That was my other thing is when I'm in eighth grade, you can't drive. So uh,
Yeah.
I'd either do the yards in my neighborhood after school during the week, and then on the weekends when my parents weren't working, they would drive me around. Um, but since my buddy that I met in eighth grade, he was able to drive since he was older. I hired him on pretty quick, and he was really able to help me get around places. So right after school was ended, we'd just ride home together, go get the trailer, and go cut as many yards as we could until it got dark. So that being said, hiring a guy that you can rely on early really helped me be able to kind of let him be, because he's seen how we grow. He knows my standards. He knows how well, I at least like to think I'm meticulous. I have OCD. Things got to be perfect. Um, Come to find out, as you start to grow, you can't always have things perfect. I know you say a lot. Business owners, they're they do everything on like a scale out of 20 out of 10. If it's not a 20, it's not
Yeah.
acceptable. Whereas customers, they're only expecting a 8 max. Like if they get an
Yeah.
8, they are super pleased. I mean, they're ecstatic. Um, so one thing that one thing that really helped is because he saw how OCD what I was about things. So I mean, to this day, they still do well above, honestly, than what I could do. Um, I'm not sure how that will change once we hire a couple more guys and say he transitions into a like a manager in some sort. He maybe he won't be with the Mo crew. So who knows if it'll change? But right now, I mean, it's amazing. They're really meticulous on the work that they do. So yeah, just hiring him, he really helped. And then with like we said, with COVID, it was really able to allow me to go break away from the Mo crew. He would kind of just take the mowing and go do his own thing. I'd send him the schedule, and then I was able to do a lot more of the enhancement work and stuff like that. So that's kind of how we were able to get a good bit of customers. So
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. I think
crap.
that
Wait, what's that?
oh, I can hear you. You're still there. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry, I got a phone call.
Oh, you're
Yes,
good.
sir.
You're good. Yeah. No, you're still there. So all good on my side. I am in I'm in a similar boat of me trying to do some of the landscape. That's what the last year was a lot for us, was trying to get myself out of the mow field and trying to find that one or two guys that could really go do that. We survived. The guy that we have in place did a good job, and so we're trying to really just get things ironed out better. Trying to get expectations where I would like them, and so we're going to see where that goes this year. We're going to
Yeah.
try to put key people in place and get to that point to where that really is just kind of on autopilot. Do you do any of the mowing? Are you out in the mowing at all?
No, I honestly, I was joking with them the other day. I was like, I'm sick and tired of riding in this truck, running around doing bids and estimates and stuff. I can't stand this. I need to get back on the mower. They were like,
Yeah.
no, boss, keep selling work, keep selling work. I'm like, I can't, but you got to do what you got to do. But no, honestly, I haven't been in the field, and honestly, I can't even remember. Which is a good thing, but then again,
Yeah.
I miss it because that's the work that we all enjoy. But
Now, when you say in the field, you're just not doing the mowing. You're still doing the landscape enhancements,
I'm
right?
just not
Yeah.
doing the mowing. Yeah, and so I should probably clarify that when I say we do landscaping, I mean we do everything. We're full landscape design and enhancement work on our landscape side of the business, but um, the mow route will run Monday through Friday. Typically, what I will do is I'll do my estimates and all my say invoices or scheduling stuff like that. I'll do most of that Monday and Tuesday. during the week, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I'll go out and do all the enhancement work and some of the landscape design work. And then that way on Monday and Tuesday, that gives me some time to get my delivery scheduled for that week, and then that way I'm not running around and wasting time on the days I am actually doing physical work out in the
Yeah.
field. I can be a little more effective. Um, but honestly, that will probably change here come March. We're gonna hire two more guys. Probably those two part-time guys will hire full-time. Um, and they'll be on a mow crew, and then I'll take two guys from the other mow crew since we'll have six. So we'll basically have three crews of two, if that makes sense, two mow crews and a landscape crew, and then that'll allow me to get out of the landscaping side and go do the estimates pretty much all week. So um, that should really
So
help us,
what kind of
sell more.
landscape are you doing that you're going to be able to turn that over to your guys? Like as far as the knowledge goes, do they just know? Do they know? I mean, have they been doing it? Do they know how to do everything more than you do? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I think our most inexperienced guy besides myself has 15 years experience. So
Oh
they've
shoot.
worked for,
Okay, so
yeah, man,
you've got guys that have been doing it for a long time.
yeah, I think our besides my crew lead who's my age, I think our youngest guy he's mid 40s.
Oh
So
wow.
they're
Okay.
they're older. They have a couple kids. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, so they have. I mean, they've honestly taught me so much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I honestly enjoy working with them because one, they're just a blast to work with, but two, I mean, they're hardworking, and then like they know so much stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I love working with them because you work with them and you always learn something.
Yeah.
So that will make things a little bit easier. One, I mean, he does a lot. He worked for U.S. Lawns. Up until I think 2 years ago, and then he's just kind of floated around like two companies. He just didn't like them; they just didn't have a good culture. So he's been with us for I think 8 months now. So he's really enjoying it. He's really adding a lot of it's helping us out a lot. So yeah, he'll be pretty much the crew lead for the landscape company since he has a lot of design background
Okay.
and then a lot of hardscape background, which I don't have. So I'm excited to see what he can do there for us. And then the other guy below him, um, he has some experience doing a lot of the enhancement work, like the shrub pruning. He has a lot of outdoor lighting experience, which is something that we're starting to get into. We did a couple
Hmm.
projects last year, just enough to get our feet wet in it, and honestly, we really like it. So this year, with adding him to our team, and then also having the landscape designer with us, I think that'll be a really good combo to allow us to pretty much knock out two birds with one stone. And I mean, they honestly should be fine as long as I can supply the work. They know what they're doing. I'll walk the property with them, obviously,
Yeah.
initially, and kind of show them what the broad view is. But other than that, they'll take over it and they'll knock it out for us. So that should
That's
really help.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is so cool that you found those people and put those people in position and are able to do that because that is really when you can start to do what you're doing. You can start to get out of the field. You don't have to be there to babysit. That's very very cool. Uh, what does the selling and the marketing and the advertising and the estimating and all that stuff look like? I mean, because that it sounds like you're pretty heavy in that role. And you're focusing on that role now, so it's not getting pushed to the back burner. It's a huge part of your schedule. It sounds like, which means you got to be doing it somewhat efficiently and effectively. And so, what's working for you? What are you doing to get new leads in the door, close new jobs, and keep the pipeline full?
Yeah, so we do a lot of Facebook ads, and then honestly, well, that was honestly fairly recently. But years prior, we've done a lot on Google, and then also just pushing Google reviews and updating your pictures. The more active you are on Google, the more they'll promote you to people. So about once or twice a week, we'll go in there and just upload some pictures, and then after every customer, we finish both landscape design work, enhancement work, and then on each invoice for when our we invoice our maintenance customers, there's a link on the bottom of the invoice, so they can just click that link. It's right above the Pay Now button. They can just click that link and they can leave us a review. And then if they do that, we give them a 10% discount. So that also helps try to get
Oh
them to do
wow,
it.
yeah, yeah, a little
Um, a little
incentivize
incentive,
them.
which it
Yeah,
helps. I mean, if they can save a little bit of money and help me out, I'm down.
yeah,
Because you make tenfold just by saving that little, giving them that little 10% back. So
exactly.
yeah, Google reviews, I mean, Google in general has been astronomical for us. That helps so much. Facebook ads and then Instagram. Surprisingly, we get a good amount of work off of Instagram. Um, we have we target a lot of our younger clientele around here. Um, I feel like a lot of people down here are young hustle. They work up in Charlotte and they'll live down here, Charlotte, North Carolina, because it's a bigger city. It's pretty expensive up in North Carolina. North Carolina have pretty significant higher taxes than we do, and we're only maybe 10 minutes from the state line. So a lot of people will come down here and live down here because they can. It's just cheaper. And that being said, Charlotte in general has a pretty young crowd, so a lot of our customers are young, so they're more active on Instagram. It's just more relevant to them.
Yeah.
A lot of work off of Instagram. Um, we haven't done. I've heard all the ads and everything, and it's been a consideration to do postcards and flyers like that. I think Brian says he uses Postcard Mania. I've
Yeah.
looked into that. Honestly, though, we've had so much luck with Google, Facebook, and obviously word of mouth. I honestly haven't done it yet. Um, but as I continue to grow, and I'd like to pick up more mowing accounts and expand our both the mowing and landscape side, but especially mowing, you have to have either big accounts to fill up your week or a lot of smaller
Yeah.
accounts. Either way, you have to market to those customers. So I think it's something I'm going to do here fairly soon is try to do some postcards and flyers. To be honest, I just haven't had time to get around to it, but
Yeah.
that would be something I'd like to try out here in the next couple months just to see how it
Yeah.
goes.
That's awesome, man. Well, so was 23 a big year of growth? Was it kind of sustained? Was it figure out where you're at? What did 23 look like?
I would say 23 was it was a lot of growth. Um, the, we pretty much created a whole second Mo crew, and we pretty much have enough accounts to create a whole second Mo crew in 23. We would just keep them all condensed into one crew. So I mean, honestly, I should have just created a second crew last year. I was just so busy, and by the time we picked up all the accounts, it was already July, August. It was late in the season, so um, I was like, guys, if we can just stick through the rest of the season. I mean, our season really ends in October, November with all our weekly accounts.
Yeah.
If we can just stick through the next couple months, I promise I'll pay you. I'll make it worth your while. But I'll split this up and give you all a break here next season. Um, so yeah, this this year I'm going to pretty much break up that one Mo account and create it into two separate ones. Um, but yeah.
That's awesome. The as you've grown in 23, you figured out how to kind of manage and lead a team, which I think is huge. You're trying to learn and do that. You talk about adding the second Mo crew though, so you're talking bringing on more guys, and you added a lot of work to those guys' plates at the end of the year. You said when you didn't add that second crew when you probably could have. What
Yeah.
how has that looked like for you for the whole adding a second crew? So when you say adding, do you mean are you going to do that with let's say your two-man crew can do 60 yards a week. Well, let's say you have 85 on the schedule or whatever the numbers are for you, 85 on the schedule. Like, are you just going to start this second crew and their work will be a little like they won't have a completely full schedule?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. I'm sorry.
because if they're not if you start them with a completely full schedule, how is it even
Mhm.
possible for the other guys to get the work done? You know
So
what I mean?
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, so pretty much what we'll do is, so just to make it easy, had right around between like 115 and 120 accounts last year, both weekly and biweekly. So we'll just say it was 120. What we'll do is I'll just grab 60 from, I'll just divide it into 260 Mo accounts, and then that way that gives us some time to get things back into rhythm earlier in the season, especially if I have any new guys that I may throw on there for part-time help. They can kind of get the rhythm of things. They don't have to be go 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 that early in the season, and then that way that also gives us some time to grow. And then if we pick up some bigger accounts and higher paying accounts, we can kind of cut some of the lower ones if our schedule does start to fill up. Honestly, I would like to pick up just more bigger accounts and
Yeah.
not pick up as many accounts. Easier for me, less customers I have to deal with.
Yeah.
Um, just a bigger account where we can just go to park, say we're in one neighborhood or say we're at a big commercial property, just park there all day, park in the neighborhood all day and just knock out all the yards. Um, so that would be ideal, but we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, actually, after we get off this call, I got to go run up it's like the next town over. There's a HOA account that it's 80 homes. It's just it's one HOA though, but all the homes need cut. So I'm gonna go put a bid in on that. We'll see if we get that or not. But honestly, that one account, that'll pretty much be a whole nother day's
That would be
worth
huge. Yeah.
in one of the crews. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, ideally, I would like to just pick up some bigger accounts to help fill up that schedule instead of picking up as many smaller accounts, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
that'll just be played by ear. But yeah, we'll just have to see what happens there, I guess.
Yeah, man. That's super cool. I think that is I think that's awesome. It's a cool story of growth and things along the way. You got a lot of things to come in the future. As before we wrap this thing up, I don't want to hold you too long here. We're about to be at 30 minutes, and I don't want to hold you longer than you have. I know you got time. You need to go and put that estimate. That's a big estimate, so you need to take time and go do that. But
Yeah.
leadership and kind of just growing and walking through your entrepreneurial journey, like what has that been like for you? What have you learned along the way as far as adding people on? You're 18, you're about to be leading 6 people full time. That's not easy. It's not an easy feat. And so what are some things that you have learned along the way that you would say that you could give advice to anyone out there, no matter what their age, just being in a place of leadership and bringing on people to keep good guys around and just to help your see your company grow?
Yeah, honestly, it may sound simple, but just treating other people how you want to be treated. And even if I were to change it up differently, I'm never gonna make my guys do something that I wouldn't want to do. If that's go out in the pouring rain, and I mean, if they have to do it, and I mean, if I would do it, fine. But if that's going out in the pouring rain, a thunderstorm to go, say, blow off a property, I mean, I'm not necessarily gonna make them do that, or say to go if we got to mulch a hill and instead of using a skid steer to bring it up there, I'm not going to make them use buckets, 5 gallon
Yeah.
buckets, and bring it up the hill. So it's just little things like that. Like if you're at the owner, if you as the owner aren't going to do something, don't make your guys do it. And then also, like I said earlier, if you just hire one good guy that you can trust and rely on, that no matter what, no matter what's going to happen, say you're out sick, you know that he's going to show up, and he's going to, if you train him properly, he's going to know how to lead those guys. He'll be there early in the morning to load up the trucks for them, get their schedules, go over it with them if they have any questions, and they can get sent on their way. If you just have one good guy, it'll help so much. But the thing is, you have to make sure you train him correctly. So take your time on training guys. Don't try to rush through things, because the slower you train guys and the more in depth you train them, the better they'll be in the long run. So yeah, I think that's some things that would really help. And honestly, also hiring. I mean, this may be different for everybody, but for me, I found that if I hire older guys who are mature and they've seen things, they like I said, they have the experience, and so they're not just gonna go mow a wet yard and tear it up.
For
Um,
sure.
it's smaller things that I mean it's helped me some, whereas I don't have to go necessarily train them about every little thing.
Yeah.
But I really found that hiring older guys too helps me be able to just let them be and just trust them. But yeah, like, wrap this all up, just hiring one good guy, training him how you pretty much would want, if you were to go away, if he was to run the company, you would, if you how you would want it to be ran, train
Yeah.
him, that would be ideal. So that's what
That's
I found.
awesome, and that's good to hear because you're the second person in a week that's told me that has guys working under him. Like it doesn't take a whole army to get started. It takes one. You
Yeah,
just find one, and you have to search. Like you have to be diligent. It's some people are blessed and they get that one that just falls in their lap. Some people are not that lucky, and so you have to be diligent. You have to keep looking. But then remember, if you're 6, 8, 12 months into trying to find someone and just nobody works out, like turn and look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing wrong? What can I change? Am I looking in the wrong place to find people? Am I, once I bring them on, am I not taking care of them the right way? Am I not training the right way? So I'm a big proponent. Look at yourself, see what you've done, and then go from there. So
yeah.
that's fantastic, man. It's so inspiring to hear that you're growing like that. That you have a bright future ahead in this industry. What are your plans? Where do you see Palmetto at in 5 years from now?
I'd like to be one of the bigger regional companies around here. Um, Definitely within the next, I'd say, 3 to 5 year plan. Maybe have 4 or 5 mo crews. maybe two landscape design and enhancement crews, and then this later last year, towards the end of 2023, we got into spraying yards and stuff like that, fert and squirt. So I'd like to fill up that schedule a good bit. And pretty much just have kind of what I think it's Naylor. I think he does a lot of spraying yards.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to kind of do what he does. Is I think he has like 300 or something, but it's just him. So just have one guy that can really narrow down that schedule and just say spray 200, 350 yards,
Oh yeah,
a couple days, knock him out, and I mean it's pretty good money there. So fert and squirt
for
crew would
sure.
be good too.
For
So
sure. Yeah, it's super profitable. Jason Krill is right down the road from us, Alabama Lawn Pros, and
Jason Krill, that's what I'm thinking about, not Naylor. It's
yeah,
Jason.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Naylor does spray, but Naylor like only sprays his customers that he mows for. I'm pretty sure.
I see. Okay.
But Jason, that's all he does is weed control fertilization,
Yeah.
and he's on his own. He's got a great schedule. He does 300 or 400 people, and he loves it. So got a really
Yeah.
good business cut out for him there. That's awesome, man. Well, before we wrap it up, is there anything that you've missed? Anything that you wanted to share that I didn't get to?
Um. No, I think we're good. I think we covered
You
most
covered?
everything. So
All
yes,
right.
sir. I
Well,
think we're good.
final question for you is it's simple, but it can be complex. But what is your why?
Ooh. Um. I would say my why is more so for my obviously for my future wife. And then honestly, it's also just as much for my guys. Trying to give them things that they weren't able to have as children, and then also being able to give them things that they weren't able to have by working at other companies. Like giving them, like for Christmas, we gave him a nice bonus. One of my guys was telling me that he was trying to go take out a loan because he couldn't afford Christmas gifts, and I was like, no,
Mm,
that's not gonna fly. So we got him taken care of, and it's things like that that really motivate me to go out and sell work and just try to do my best every day and provide for them. Because I can really see the impact that it has on not just them but their family as well. I can't tell you how appreciative he was of that. And I'm not trying to boost my ego or anything like that, but it's just
no.
it's just little things like that. And I mean that was little. I mean that could have been that was a huge thing for him, but
Yeah.
in the long run, that's just it's little things like that that add up, and it makes it so worth it for me, and not just me, but
So my
everyone
follow
else.
up to that, we'll wrap up. But my follow up to that is you brought up something that I think is I want to hear your take on. How
Yeah.
do you like in that situation? Like he was going to take out a loan to pay for his Christmas for kids. Like that's a very personal situation there. We will not assume where money getting spent or whatever. Like that's the how do you handle um not getting too close and getting too involved in an employee's personal life?
Yeah.
Like
Um.
because when you see like, and I'm not saying this dude did it, he could have a bad thing,
No. Yeah.
but it's very common. I think that you see employees make bad financial decisions, and then they get in a position like that. And I don't fault you. Like I would 100% done the same thing. Like you're not going to do that. But at the same day, like how do you stay? How do you keep that role? How do you have you found what is that balance between being a good employer and trying to help like guide and teach them how to have good finances, but at the same
Yeah.
time like not getting too involved in their personal life?
So that's something that honestly I will say that I mean because I care about my guys, I treat them like family. So that's something
Yeah.
honestly. It's funny you say that because I've struggled with that and I've noticed that. But it's something I've also gotten better at. I'm not gonna go necessarily ask them questions. I'm not gonna say something unless they come to me about it.
Yeah.
Um, in that situation, he came up to me not expecting anything, but I mean he just simply said, "Hey boss, can I get off early today?" It was like Thursday before Christmas. I think Christmas Eve was on Sunday. So it was like the Thursday before the weekend. And I was like, yeah, sure. He was like, thanks, boss. I apologize. It's so last minute. I gotta go to the bank. And then he told me why, and I was like, oh yeah, no problem. So I I ended up bringing him to the bank, and before he went inside, I gave him the money. And it was amazing. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's honestly something I say I would have struggled with. But yeah, just if I won't say anything unless they come to me
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
first of all, and then I try not to go too deep because honestly, like their personal life is their personal stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not comfortable sharing with me, then I'm not gonna um, push at it. And then the other thing is too, one thing that I'd like to do is I listen to a lot of Entree Leadership from Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
So I want to get my guys. I haven't done it yet. This is something I'm going to do within the next couple weeks. But put them through. I think it's through Financial Peace University, but it's
Yeah.
for business owners. Um, basically it's for like your employees. You can send it to them and they'll go through it. But it's pretty much Financial Peace University. So I want
Yeah.
to get that for them and make all my guys go, not make them, but give that to them as a
Yeah.
tool for them to go through it.
Yeah,
So
since you brought that up, anybody that's listening to this or watching this, highly recommend it's one of my top 10 podcasts that I probably watched or listened to is an interview that Alex Hormozy did with Dave Ramsey. I'm not a big Ramsey fan when it comes to the way that he teaches to the consumer, because it doesn't fit my model. But I do see the principles that I do see some principles work. We're not going to go down the whole Dave Ramsey train,
yeah,
but Hormozy interviewed Ramsey, and they spoke on a business and they talked about business. They talked on a business front, not a get out of debt front, but a business front. How Ramsey Solutions has grown to what it is today. That was a very, very eye-opening interview. It was very good. So it's on the Game podcast, Alex Hormozy's podcast, or you just look it up on YouTube. Just type in Hormozy Ramsey, and it'll come up. And it was an hour and 10 minutes. I watched the whole thing, and I probably will go back and watch it again. Just because Alex is a very, very deep thinker. He's very smart. Ramsey is the same. Whether you like him or not, he's a great businessman. You can't argue with it. So go check that out if you want to hear a really good podcast, because it was solid. So, well, good deal, man. Well, I won't hold you up. I appreciate the time today. It's an awesome why. I have seen. So you got a girlfriend now, right? How long have y'all been together?
we just officially 2 years, but
Okay.
it's funny you asked that. We'll just say 2 years. I won't go down that rabbit hole.
2 years. All right. So it sounds like there's some backstory there, but we'll go
There's
with
the
2 years for
backstory.
today. So, you think she's the one? Y'all gonna lock it up?
Yeah, well, towards the end of the year, I'll probably pop the question. So we'll
Yeah.
see. Her birthday's in November.
Okay. Okay. That's awesome, man. Well, good deal. Well, yeah, that's a good why to have. Make sure that you're taking care of her, and then building a family there, and also taking care of your guys. So I love it, man. I super appreciate the time today. I know that it's valuable. So I'll let you get back out there and get estimating and getting to work. But it has been a true honor to have you on the show today, and I really enjoy it. Where can everybody follow along if they want to check out some more of your content?
Yeah, man. You can follow us on at Palmetto Lawn Services on Instagram, and then Facebook as well. That's still fairly new, so there's not much there. But mainly, you can find us on Palmetto Lawn Services at Instagram, all one word.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, I appreciate the time that you took to listen to the interview today. I know you have a lot of different podcasts you can choose from, and it means the world that you chose to listen to us today. So if you would, give us a big 5-star rating review if you enjoyed it, if you liked the show. So if you did, come back and join us here on the next one. Who knows what we're going to have coming down the pipe for you, but it's going to be fun. Springtime is just around the corner. We are really literally like 6 weeks away. And so I'm excited to see it here. February 23rd and the 24th will be in Springville, Alabama for the Lawn Care Life event. Hope a lot of you can make it to that, and we look forward to seeing you there. So without any further ado, guys, that's going to wrap this one up, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.